Hello guys, welcome on this new Coach Dev Academy lab guide. I'm Corentin Guinez, and today we are with the AMG GT4 around the new Jerez track. So yeah, as usual, first we're gonna go with the hot lap, and then I'm gonna go into more details about the track and the car. So let's get started. Okay guys, here we are on the main straight start finish line, and we're looking at the front, T1 at the front, and I'm gonna go basically using a bit of runoff, like the blue runoff on the left side. I'm gonna put like the two left wheels on that runoff, and I'm gonna start to brake slightly after I go pass through the bit of white patch in front of the curbing. So I'm gonna use basically a bit of runoff on the brakes, heavily on the brakes, and then I'm gonna start to release slightly the brakes. And then early on power, as soon as I'm hitting the inside curb, I'm gonna go on power to find the rotation. And also because it's uphill, you have to go earlier on power to find all the speed and all the speed you can carry. Basically on this one, it's really important to not brake too late because it's kind of slippery around this one, especially on the exit. Sorry, if you are a bit too aggressive or too ambitious on the exit, you will basically lose a lot of grip. It can get a bit understeery if you basically arrive with too much speed. And same if you try to find the rotation because you have a bit of understeer moment, it's gonna be difficult to find the traction because like I said, it's really difficult to find the grip when you have too much speed. So again, releasing the brakes and then trying to find the rotation on power. And then I'm gonna use a lot of curbing on the exit. Same, try to not be too ambitious and using too much of the curbing on the exit because then it's quite easy to get an off track. And then for this one, I'm gonna brake just under the bridge, so it's quite an easy braking zone. And I'm gonna try to be a bit patient for this one and not like going straight away for the apex right there. I'm gonna try to have a kind of a late apex, so then I can straighten the wheel a bit earlier, and then I can go like a bit more aggressively on power. Same if I basically go like straight away for the inside, it means like I will need to go on power but the same way, but it means it sends me a bit more wide, I would say, with a bit more understeer on the exit. And basically it's not ideal because then you are a bit too wide on the exit and you have quickly a left-hander right after. So I prefer to basically keep a bit of a margin on the exit. That's why I'm going a bit tighter. I'm basically gonna go for a late apex for this one. Then using a lot of curve for this one, using all of the track on the inside. And then I'm gonna go for this long left and really fast. I'm trying to not enter too early on this one because then it means like if I enter too quickly on this one, I'm gonna end like really wide on the exit and it's really easy to get an off track. So what I'm doing for this one is that I'm entering kinda late of this one. So basically I'm pretty much entering as soon as the tire marks are just like at the end of the tire marks, I would say, pretty much. And then I will try to go flat out for this one. I think this one is nearly flat out, just a bit of lift on the entry, but it's mainly flat out, using all of the curbing on the inside. As well, the blue part is not enough track on the inside, so you can use all of it. Like, it's pretty much the same all the way around the track. And then you have to make sure you are not going off the blue and white curbing, so just make sure you keep your left wheels on the curbing. It's really important, but I think for this one was pretty safe. Just a thing about this one, just make sure to be safe on the first laps, because it's a bit slippery. And same, like the first lap, it's a bit unnecessary for this one, so do not try, maybe, or be safe. Do not try maybe the flat out first lap, but then it seems like it gets like less and less unnecessary. So as soon as you go through the scenes, you can really try to go flat out around this one. There, I'm just gonna go straight away to the left side to prepare the next one, which is kind of difficult because it's a bit blind. It's blind on the exit, and you have to carry a lot of speed to this one. So what I'm doing on this one is that I'm going straight away to the left, pretty much doing the same way as T1, using a bit of runoff on the entry. And then I'm pretty much gonna... it's difficult to say where I'm braking because I'm not really using the right thing on the right side. But depending on your FOV, I think you can look at this runoff or exit road on the right side, which is the blue section, I would say. And then try to pretty much put your brakes as soon as you see that this right exit road is disappearing. So basically, when I'm getting really close of it, I'm just releasing the throttle, as you can see, and then I'm jumping on the brakes. Then for this one, it's really important to like use all the rotation of your brakes, because basically if you don't do that, you will just have massive understeer because it's a bit of camber. And then I'm gonna try to stick a bit to the inside using a bit of the curb. There is like many racing line, but I think the one who is using a bit of curbing is the fastest one. Even though I used a bit I won't say middle track line, but in the first half, I would say. But yeah, the best I think is to use a bit of the curbing. And then yeah, you have to find the rotation on power. You have to be early on power. Pretty much like, I would say, as soon as you hit the first curb, like when you release the brakes, like as soon as I'm hitting the curb, I'm not really touching the brakes anymore, except if I want to find an extra rotation where I'm gonna put a slight input of the brakes on the brakes. But as you can see, as soon as I'm releasing the brakes, I'm not touching the brakes anymore. And same, because it's going uphill, you have to find the speed again, and that's why I'm not going anymore on power on the brakes. So then just trying to find the rotation on power. As you can see, it's flat out because I didn't overshoot the corner. It's the same as T1. Do not overshoot because it's really easy to overshoot the entry and then going too wide on the exit. And this one means like it's gonna be an off track. And same, you have a long straight with a nice overtake at the end possible. So just make sure you compromise a bit the entry, even if you don't really need to compromise the entry, to be honest. As soon as you don't overshoot the entry, you have a good exit and a great chance at the end of the straight. So then using most of the curbing on the exits, same as the left-hander we talked before. Do not be too ambitious on the exit and use the green part, because most of the time it's going to be enough track if you put the four wheels on this part of the track. And then for this one, I'm going to look at the 100-meter board on the left side, and I think I'm going to brake like right after this board is disappearing from the left side of the windshield. So then on the brakes, heavily on the brakes, and same as the it should be turn 2, I guess. I'm gonna aim for a late apex. So as you can see, I'm going a bit deep on the entry, but then I'm putting a lot of steering angle, getting the curb, and then I'm just trying to straighten the wheels as much as I can. And as you can see, it really helps me to have a lot of power really early on the corner, which means like I'm gaining quite a lot on the exit. And then you can use, like, if you want to be really safe, you can really use all of the curbing on the exit. You don't really need to go really wide, so it's pretty much it's really fine on this one. Then moving quickly on the right side, just to make sure I have the right angle to take this one flat, but it's really easy. Fourth gear using all the curbing on the inside. And this one is maybe one of the trickiest part of the track because it's a really fast corner and you have to carry a lot of speed. So as you can see for this one, I'm really following the tire marks, just on the brakes, slightly on the entry to find the rotation. And then I'm going to find the rotation on power, and I'm going to use slightly of the curbing, rotation on power, and then I'm going to try to just hold flat out the pedal. It's fine because it has like a high wing setup on this car, so it's pretty easy to control the car, I would say, on the exit when you have to use a lot of power to find the rotation as well, and same for the tight exits. So back at it again, using a lot of curbing on the inside, on the entry, sorry, using the brakes to find the rotation, trying to carry a lot of speed through this one, and then I'm on power to find the rotation again and try to carry a lot of speed for this one. I'm using a bit of curbing, maybe not. You don't really need to go really wide this one, to be honest. You can hold it a bit tighter. It's fine. You won't gain that much time, I would say, to go wide on this one. And also because the next corner is arriving pretty quickly, so the best is maybe to say a tiny bit tighter than going all the way on the curbing, because you have to really go quickly on the left side to prepare the next one. Next one of the best track for me, one of the best part of the track for me. You have to brake a bit early for this one, so I would say, like, it's tough to say, but I would say as soon as I'm getting close of the Argentina border, I would call it like that, pretty much. I'm just gonna jump on the brakes, and then it's really important for this one to not overshout. It's the same for pretty much the same all the way around the track. Just do not overshout. So for this one, on the brakes, and then I'm gonna start to release slightly the brakes, try to find the rotation. It's getting pretty tight on the exit, so just gonna hold a bit longer the brakes. Same for the exits. I'm not gonna go fully on power to find the rotation, because as you can see, it's getting a bit tighter. And I think on the entry, it's pretty tricky to see the limit on the exit. So you really have to be careful and not being too ambitious. So as you can see, I'm not using the inside curve as well. So just I think it's unsettled a bit the curve at least for the entry of this one. And then I'm power trying to find the rotation. Then it's the same track limits everywhere pretty much. Just keep your right wheels on the curbing. No need to go like all the car on the green pad, because then the lap time will be delete. And then for this one, I don't think I'm touching that much the brakes, just tiny bit on the entry, but it's not really necessary. Like if you have the great line, if you have the nice rhythm through this corner, you can just manage with the throttle your speed through the corner. For this one, I think I'm using a tiny bit of curbing, like the sausage, green sausage, just a little bit, but it's not really necessary, because most of the time it will just unsettle a bit the car. So yeah, it's pretty much up to you and pretty much the way you learn the track. So if you use it and feel comfortable with it, you can use it. But I prefer to not really use it, because most of the time it unsettle a bit the car on the exit. And then same, using a bit of curbing on the exit. And now we approach the chicane. So I'm gonna look at the. It's tough to see, to be honest, but there is a white post, like just right there, the white one. I think I'm gonna brake like 5 meters before this one, before I see this one. And then on the brakes, just trying to brake a bit earlier, because I want to be kind of tight. Like I'm just wait, I don't think you can see it. Like you have this one, like the left one in the chicane. And the thing I'm thinking about just before I'm entering the chicane is to exit a bit tighter on this one to then prepare the next right one. So it's really interesting to look at this one, because this one pretty much makes all the time you can gain, because then you have a better exit for this right one. So we'll see that more details right now. Braking a bit earlier, and then I'm gonna try to like use as much and as good as I can the curbs, making good usage from it. So still on the brakes. And one thing I'm looking about the first curbing is that, as you can see, there is like a flat spot in the green sausage. So what I'm going to try is that I'm going to try to use it. It's very difficult most of the time to find the exact right line, but if you can manage to get this right, I think it's a pretty good thing, because you have a better traction. It's a bit less bouncy, I would say. So if you can make sure you make a good use from it, just make sure you can do it. And I think I'm pretty much used it. Yeah, as you can see, my right wheels are just on the flat spot on the sausage. So if you can make that, you have a very good exit, and then it's much easier to have, like I said before, the tight line for the next left corner. So as you can see, still on the brakes, and then as soon as I'm hitting the first sausage, I'm just going on power, just trying to find a bit the rotation. Then I need a bit of lift, obviously, because I cannot make it flat. And then I'm gonna use the sausage as well on the inside. For this one, I can use a lot of curbing, to be honest, because it's not really like, as soon as you have the right line for the first part of the first bit of the chicane, then you don't really have to care that much about the sausage, because it's, you have the good line anyway, so it's not a really issue. It's not a big issue. And then on power again on the exit. And then for this one, like I said, I'm not that wide. It means like I can nearly stay flat out. I think I'm going flat out pretty much. Yeah, just a bit of lift, but it's fine, because if I was a bit wider on the exit of this one, I would have to like use a lot of more lift. Or then you can use the sausage on this one, but I've done it during the setup session, but I don't think it's not a good thing, because it bounces a bit too much and you lose time at the end. So as you can see, I'm just going nearly flat out. Just, I think I'm short shifting. Yeah, I short shifting just before this right one, to make sure I'm not losing the rear and have the best traction possible. Using the cabin on the outside, and then I'm using all of the track on the inside for this one. And then we approach the last corner of the track. So as a braking point, I'm gonna look like before the chicane. I'm gonna look at the right post. So basically the one just behind the tie wall and the fence. And then I'm gonna brake at that point. It's quite an easy, it's like maybe the easiest braking point of the track, to be honest, with the long back straight. And then I'm gonna hit for the apex. Best way is to stay all the way on the inside. It seems like it's the best way to find most of the speed and the time in the lap time. So what I'm doing is that even on the brakes, aiming for the inside straight away, using the cab on the inside, and then I'm gonna try to have like a tight exit, straighten the wheel earlier, and then full power, and then I'm using all the cabbing on the exit. And yeah, that's it for the lap around Jerez with the AMG GT4. Okay guys, that's it for me today with the AMG around Jerez for the week 9 of the GT4 challenge. Hope you enjoyed the video and you learned a bit from it as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and like the video, and join the Discord if you have any questions about the setups or the lap guide, obviously. And yeah, see you next time for a lap guide. See you guys. Bye bye.